Alright, Shalom. I'm a Hebrew Israelite, and this video is based on of edification, and this so to the so-called blacks, Hispanics, Latinos, and Native American Indian Israelites. This what so-called Negroes, African Americans, Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Latinos, and Native American Indian Israelites, who are the biblical Hebrew Israelites of God's commandments, who must keep the commandments through Jesus Christ for the remissions of sins to turn to God's grace. This this is Isaiah 19 and 23. Isaiah 19 and 23. In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Right? Egypt is anonymous for the northern kingdom of Israel, the southern northern kingdom, because it was a split. In 2 Kings, the nation of Israel consists of 12 tribes. 3 tribes was left in Jerusalem, which is the land of Israel, from our forefathers' land, which we come from. And the so-called Puerto Ricans, Latinos, Native American Indians, Seminole Indians, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Seminole Indians, Native American Indians, Brazilians to Uruguay, and they are the descendants of the children of Israel. And Dominicans and Cubans, they the northern kingdom. And it was a split, and the Egyptian captivity is talking about the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom went under the captivity. The southern kingdom went under captivity under the Africans, the so-called from Africa, the black Africans, and the northern kingdom went into captivity of Assyria. That's 2 Kings 11, first 2 Kings 1, 1 Corinthians 5 and 26. It's 1 Corinthians 5, 1 Corinthians 5 and 26. And the Most High God of Israel stirred up the spirit of Pul, king of Assyria, and the spirit of Tilagath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and he carried them away, even the Reubenites and the Gadites, and the half tribe of Manasseh. So the northern kingdom was carried away into captivity under the Syrians, which are the so-called Seminole Indians, the tribe of Reuben, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Ephraim, the so-called Cubans is Manasseh, the so-called so-called Argentinians to Chaldean, which is the Naphtali, Colombians to Uruguay is the Colombian is the tribe of Asher, and so-called Dominicans is the Simeon, the 12 tribes of Israel, and so-called Native American Indians, the tribe of Gad. They was carried away to the Syrians. So the Lord calling them by the lands which they was captivity to, in Egypt, because the Babylonians was African, with Judah, Benjamin, Levi, going to Hezekiah. That's 2 Kings 13, 15. 2 Kings 15. 2 Kings 2 Kings 2 Kings 2 Kings 2 Kings 18. 2 Kings 18. And the Lord said what? It's 2 Kings 20. 2 Kings 20. Behold, the days come that all that is in thine house. And Isaiah said unto Hezekiah, which was the king of Judah, the northern kingdom, behold, the days the ruler of Judah, a man. Behold, the days come that all that is in thine house, and that which thy fathers have laid up in the store unto this day shall be carried unto Babylon. Nothing shall be left, said Yahweh. So the northern kingdom was carried away by the Babylonians. And the Lord said what? And in that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt, and to Syria. And that's the split was 2 Kings 11 and 30, which was King Solomon from sinning against the commandments of God to worship idols, because there's one true living God, the creator of heaven and earth. And he gave law, statutes, commandments to the so-called Puerto Ricans to abide by. They took a covenant, the so-called African American Negroes, Hispanics, and Puerto Ricans, to do God's commandments. His law, statutes, are the Holy Scrolls, which is not Christianity, it's the Holy Scriptures. And the Lord said, what? In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. So the northern and southern kingdom, the Lord broke the bands on them. Then I cut and sundered my other staff, even bands, that I may break the brotherhood between Judah. This is Zechariah 11 and 14. Then I cut and sundered my other staff, even bands, that I may break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. So Judah is the northern kingdom, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, 3 of the tribes, and Ephraim is the 10 tribes, starting with the so-called Puerto Ricans to the Mexicans, Seminole Indians, Native American Indians, which is the tribe of Ephraim, Simeon, Asher, Issachar, Zebulun, Naphtali, the tribes of the northern kingdom, so-called Native Americans, Seminole, Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominicans, and Mexicans. So the Lord said, what? In that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. So that's the Lord connecting the southern and northern kingdom together again. That highway is that straight and narrow path is the commandments of the Lord, keeping the instructions of the Most High together. The instructions of the new covenant, Hebrews 8 and 8. And the Lord said, what? Isaiah 20 to Assyria. So he gonna close the breaches. Amos 9:11. I will restore the tabernacle of David. It's Amos 9 in the book of Amos of 9:11. 9 and 11. In that day will I rise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. So the Lord said, in thy ancient gloriously. So the Lord on the raise, he building the so-called Puerto Rican, Latinos, and Negroes together, the tribes of the children of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites of Israel, the land of Israel, which so-called white people, Jewish Edomites, say that they are the Jews, and they are not the Jews. So this is what the Lord say, in that day shall there be a highway out of Egypt to Assyria. Right, the connection of the priesthood, the law, statute connection, they're going to connect to each other. And the Syrian, Egypt is Judah, Benjamin, Levi. And it's a lot of places where it say Egypt is talking about Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and not the ancient Egyptians, the Montezorian, with the captivity of Israel to Assyria, which is the northern kingdom, so-called Puerto Ricans. They conquered Israel. 1 Corinthians 5 and 26. And the Assyrians shall come into Egypt. So the Lord closing the breaches and connecting through the law, statute, commandments, and the Egyptians unto Assyria. So the Egyptian, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Judah shall not vex Ephraim, and Ephraim shall not envy Judah. Egyptians is Judah, the more the so-called Negro tribes and the Latino tribes, Assyria, the northern and southern kingdom, and the Egyptians shall serve with the Assyrians, right? They're going to be the servants of the Lord. The Lord said, Israel is my servant. Israel is my servant, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Israel is my firstborn. Ephraim is my firstborn. Israel is my servant, and Ephraim is my firstborn. Roughly paraphrasing. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt. Right, our nation, our nationality, gonna be a third with Egypt. That standard, the Lord lifting up our nationality, and the third, the covenant of the Lord, our forefathers, keeping the covenant of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In that day shall Israel, which the nation of the whole nation of Israel, all the families of Israel, all the tribes of the children of Israel, so-called African Americans, Puerto Ricans, sons of Jacob, Latinos, Native American Indians. In that day shall Israel, is Isaiah 19 and 24. In that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt. Egypt is so-called Negroes, Jamaicans, and Haitians, and Israel our nationality, all the tribes of Israel. And with Assyria, or the 10 tribes, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Seminole Indians, Native American Indian, Argentine, Panama, Guatemala, Panama, Argentina, Chilean, and the so-called Cubans, Dominicans, and Mexicans of North, Central, South American, Caribbean islands, right? And with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land of Israel, because the Lord going to return his nation and from the lands of captivity. The second Exodus is Jeremiah, Jeremiah 13, Jeremiah 23 and 8. But therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh. Jeremiah 23 and 7. Therefore, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that they shall no more say, Yahweh liveth, which brought up the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. Right? But Yahweh liveth, which brought up and which led the seed of the house of Israel out of the north country and from all countries, whether I have driven them, and they shall dwell in their own land. Right? So the Lord said, what? And that day shall Israel, back in Isaiah 19:24, and that day shall Israel be the third with Egypt. Right? Egypt is the third with Egypt. Israel shall be a third with Egypt and with Assyria, even a blessing in the midst of the land. Right? So they're going to know the southern kingdom, then nationally going to be back together, whom Yahweh of hosts shall bless, saying, blessed be Egypt, my people. Right? Egypt is the southern kingdom, and Assyria, the work of my hands. Right? The northern kingdom connected to the priesthood through Christ Yahweh for the remission of sins, and Israel, my inheritance. Right? Israel, the nation of Israel. And this Zechariah, Zechariah 10 and 8. I will hiss for them and gather them. Right? That's the so-called UFOs. The Lord going to hiss for the northern and southern kingdom from the lands of captivity and gather them by so-called UFOs, the chariots of Israel. For I have redeemed them. Right? He brought them back, and they shall increase as they increase, right, in knowledge. The Lord going to put the law, statutes, and commandments inside the hearts of the children of Israel so that they can never transgress his laws, as they have increased in the understanding of the Lord through the standard that the Lord have lifted up upon the nation of Israel. And I will sow them among the people. Right, the Lord gonna sow the nation of Israel among their kind, and they shall remember me in far countries. Where those far countries they have removed them far from their borders, is scattered through the ends of the earth, through the mainly of North America. And they shall live with their children and turn to God, Yahweh's commandments. I will bring them again out, also out of the land of Egypt. Right? I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt. That's America, spiritual Egypt, Sodom and Gomorrah, which is Revelations 11 and Revelations 11, Revelations 11 and 8. Revelations 11 and 8. I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria. Right? And gather them out of Assyria, because America's spiritual Assyria. This Zephaniah, Zephaniah, America's spiritual Assyria. And he will stretch out his hand against the north and destroy Assyria, right? And will make Nineveh a desolation and dry land. So Nineveh still inhabited today. It's modern day Iraq. So that's talking about America. The Lord talking about America spiritually Assyria. That's like spiritual Egypt and Sodom and Gomorrah. Because the gay sex in Assyria, because they had the northern and southern kingdom in slavery. The Spanish and the British that had the northern and southern kingdom in captivity in the land of America and hardcore slavery, which is the slavery of the northern and southern kingdom. So the Lord said, that's Jeremiah 51 and 33. Israel and Judah were oppressed together. I will bring them again also out of the land of Egypt and gather them out of Assyria. And I will bring them into the land of Gilead, right? That's the city in Jerusalem and Israel and Lebanon, which is the northern kingdom. And place shall not be found for them, right? Nowhere in the earth, the Lord said, whoso overcome it and keep my commandments, I shall make a pillar in my temple. He shall go no more out, right, in captivity. No other captivities, and he shall pass through the sea with affliction, right? The flood is the dragon sent out the flood after the serpent, After the woman, the nation of Israel. The woman is the nation of Israel, with the 12 stars upon her head, the children of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, that flood. So the Lord said, and he shall pass through the sea, the flood of doctrines of the higher, and he shall pass through the sea with affliction. Right? He gonna afflict the doctrine of wickedness. The beast and the false prophets was taken. That's the beast and the doctrine of Satanism, which is Christianity and Catholicism. The Lord said, "What? He shall pass through the sea with affliction." Right? He gonna afflict that doctrine. He gonna destroy it, and shall smite the waves in the sea. Right? The waves of the sea, the flow of the sea. Right? Because the Lord, the flow of that doctrine, the flood of Christianity, of Satanism, that's throughout the northern and southern kingdom at a rampant rate, which is wickedness. And the Lord said, "What?" Isaiah, this Isaiah, 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 this Isaiah, Isaiah, 7:20. In the same day shall the Lord shave with a razor that is hired, right? A hireling that is hired, that's paid to be a Christian pastor or Catholic church pastor, namely by them beyond the river. Them beyond the river is Egypt. The Lord said, "What? And it shall come to pass in that day," 18 verse, that Yahweh, Isaiah 7:18, and it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall hiss for them, hiss for the fly, right? Hiss for the fly, I will hiss for them. That's Zechariah 10:8, right? The northern and southern kingdom for it. That is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, right? And that's America. And for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And Egypt is the north, the southern kingdom, so-called African Americans, Negroes, and Jamaicans, and Haitians, and Assyria, the so-called Puerto Ricans, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That is right, and they shall come and shall right, and in the same day shall the Lord shave with a razor that is hired, namely by them beyond the river, right? Namely by them. Majority of Christianity churches full of so-called black, so-called Negroes, right? By the king of Assyria, the head, right? The head, the leader, and the hair of the extension, which is the multitude of those that is into that doctrine of Christianity and Catholicism, of the feet, right? Of the feet, of the end of that doctrine, and it shall also consume the beard, right? Consume the leader, the age of that, the growth of it, the growth of it. So the Lord gonna destroy the multitude and the glory and the pomp of Christianity and Catholicism. So the Lord said, he shall pass through the sea with affliction, shave it off, cut it down, and shall smite the waves, the flow of it, the multitude of the sea, the flood of Christianity and Catholicism, which the so-called Puerto Ricans and Negroes going on. And the pride of Assyria, right? The pride of Assyria, right? The pride of Assyria shall be brought down, right? Catholicism, and the scepter of Egypt, Christianity, shall depart away. The doctrine of Satanism shall depart away. And I will strengthen them in Yahweh, right? The Lord is my strength, and his commandments. The Lord commandments and law, statutes, and commandments, and they shall walk up and down in his name, right? In Yahweh's name, his power. The Most High God, the one true living God, not the so-called Christianity God of Satanism, said Yahweh, the so-called white man image of Christianity, the image of the beast, the image of Satanism, the image of the doctrine of sin, the doctrine of the beast, said Yahweh, right? So, and with that, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, right?